From my kitchen to yours, food from the heart. There's nothing more comforting than a mushroom risotto in autumn at Essington Park, and I love to go with my buddies in the surrounding forests, and we rug up and we take baskets with us and collect the beautiful mushroom. But then we come on home and we open a bottle of red and we cook up a storm. So today I'm going to show you my favourite mushroom risotto recipe. So we've got quite a collection. I've got some beautiful dried shiitakes, which will give us an earthy, really yummy, earthy stock to use in the risotto. I've got these king trumpets, aren't they cute? I've got the fresh shiitakes and my favourite, the classic field. They remind me of my childhood. So we're going to start with just putting our fire on, and we've got a litre of veggie stock. And to that we'll add about 25 grams, or it's a really big handful of the dried shiitake. And we're going to let that just bob away. And what we're trying to do is hydrate the mushi. So you're going to boil up that lovely stock, you're going to hydrate the mushroom, and all of the beautiful earthy, fecund flavour of the mushi is going to go into the stock, and that's really going to inform our risotto. What I like to do when I'm cooking a risotto is use a heavy based pan like Le Creuset, but shallow, because what we're after is quite a large surface area so that you can gently move that risotto rice around. But firstly, we're going to start with our mushi. So hydrating our shiitake, and we'll give these guys a slice. I have such fond memories of the field mushis. Every Sunday in autumn, my mum would take us out along the McCulley's Gap Road in Muswellbrook, where we grew up, and we'd go mushrooming. Yeah, it's really nice when you're making a risotto. Try not to stick to the one variety, because it's really interesting to mix it up so you get different flavours, different textures, different shapes, and it makes your risotto really interesting. Okay, so we are going to kick off with a drizzle of olive oil and a little bit of butter. And the reason why I always put butter and olive oil together is the olive oil actually stops the butter from burning. Beautiful. Now we're going to fry off these delicious mushis. A little bit of sage. And I'm going to save half of this handful for later. And we're just going to let those gently sear away. Put a little bit of salt on. A little bit of pepper. See, I can smell the autumn. And if you feel that they need a little help along, don't be afraid to put a little bit more butter in there. Our dried shiitake. They need about 10 minutes. Probably just the same amount of time it takes to fry your mushis off. So see, now we're getting all that lovely caramelization, and the mushis are really letting out the beautiful flavour, working with the butter and the oil. And now the reason why I'm cooking the mushrooms, I'm actually going to take them back out of the pan onto the platter, because I want them to remain kind of al dente, because if I keep them in there with the risotto, and we're cooking the risotto for 20 minutes, half an hour, they're going to disintegrate down. And I really want, when we're eating our risotto, to be able to come across that lovely, al dente piece of mushroom. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the heat off here for a minute and put these beautiful, meaty, earthy mushrooms onto our platter. There we are. Let's see how these guys are ticking along. So you can just pull one out and have a little feel. So it's softened. And remember, it is going to continue to soften and release the flavour in your risotto. So I think we can safely remove them also into our mushroom mix. We'll keep this beautiful stock for our risotto. Now, for our risotto, more butter, fire back on, and olive oil so that our butter doesn't burn. And we're going to quickly chop 1 onion and 1 clove. Onions in. So this is the basis for all risotto. Onion. A little bit of garlic I like to put in. The onion for the beginning of every risotto. So we're just going to cook that onion down so it's nice and tender, releasing its flavour. The garlic is in there. Our stock's bubbling away. That's the other great secret about a successful risotto. You never add cold stock to a hot pan. You always bring your stock up to boiling to add to your risotto. So the rice is ready to bring it all in. Now I'm going to add 400 grams of risotto rice, and it's very important that you do use a risotto rice and a arborio, or it has to say risotto rice on the packet. It's kind of pearly and it's a little fat, plump little grain. In we go. Now at this point, we just need to move that rice around so the oil and the butter is coating all of the grains of rice. And then we're going to deglaze white wine. Plenty of bubble action, and what that's doing is it's picking up all the flavour of what we've been doing in this pan already. So we had our mushies in there and they've all caramelised on the bottom, and so that wine has picked all that lovely flavour up, and it's the beginning of the rice absorbing. Okay, and then here we go with our stock. I like to be extremely gentle with my risotto. I'm not a fan of stirring aggressively and really pulling the starch off the grains of rice. And it's kind of like half stirring and half absorption method. So we're just making sure, gently moving the risotto around so it doesn't catch on the bottom. And you need to ensure it when it's ready to take its next ladle. And I think we can safely pour that last little bit in. And it's a very personal thing, risotto. Some people like it quite dry, and some people, like me, like it quite soupy. And I like my rice still a little bit al dente, so there's just a little tiny bit of nuttiness. The rice is soaking up the flavour of that stock, the shiitake mushroom, the onion, the garlic, and we're getting there, we're almost there. And you know, if you find that the rice is not quite cooked and it has soaked up all of your stock, don't be afraid just to, add a little cup of water or half a cup of water to bring back the hydration. 25 minutes is a good time for your risotto to bubble away. Now I think I want to add half a cup of water. There we are. Nice and soupy. Just how I like it. And now for the mushrooms. So this is the last little bit of cooking where we marry the mushroom with the rice, the flavoursome stock, a third of a cup of mascarpone, for one last little bit of richness, a third of a cup of freshly grated parmesan. Nicely stir that in very gently. And if you don't have mascarpone, you can always substitute with a little bit of sour cream or a little bit of pouring cream or another dollop of butter, just for that last little bit of luxury. And we're going to do one last little bit of finessing for our dish. My favourite fry pan. Turn the heat right up. And just for something a little bit different, some more butter, about a big heaped tablespoon. We're going to let that melt away, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to dish this beautiful risotto. Just melt that butter down. And then that last little bit, half a handful of freshly picked sage from the garden. Let that bubble away for a little while. You're looking for that beautiful autumn nut brown butter colour, and you're looking for that sage to crisp up a little bit. Help it along with a little bit of salt. Flavour. And here we go, over the top. A little sprinkle of parmesan, a little cracked pepper, and there we have it for my forest foraging friends. Mushroom risotto with crispy sage. It's food from the heart.